In this video, we are going to write a Python script that will take any link to a video and return up to 500 comments on the YouTube video. The script will then classify all the comments into three categories: positive, negative, or neutral, using OpenAI's API. If we were to do the same with ChatGPT, we will have to copy and paste the entire 500 comments from the comment section with a prompt to classify them into the three categories. Then, depending on the number of categories, we can determine the vibe. It can be a good vibe, a bad vibe, or even a mid vibe, depending on the number of positive and negative comments. I'll be using Visual Studio Code as my editor. You're welcome to use your own editor, but I'll advise you to use Visual Studio Code to make it easier to follow along. You'll also need to install the latest version of Python. For a better user experience, I might build this as a Telegram bot if you are interested. Let's open Visual Studio Code. Go to File, then New Text File. Let's save the file as a Python file. Let's call it YouTubeCommentsAI.py. Now we need to get the link from the user, so let's write a line that will prompt the user to provide the YouTube link. Here's a comment to describe what the code does. Let's grab any comments from YouTube. Most YouTube links follow the same pattern, except when it has been shortened. Here's the shortened version of the YouTube link. To get the comments from YouTube, we will need to use the YouTube Data API endpoint. This is how it looks like. If you notice, there are placeholders for video ID and API key. The video ID is the last 11 characters of the YouTube link, while the API key will have to get that from Google. To get yours, visit console.cloud.google.com. Search for YouTube Data API in the text box above. Enable the API, then go to Credentials. Click on Create Credentials. This will create your new API key. I have already created mine, so let me just grab the API key. Let's replace the API key holder with the actual API key. Let's also reduce the maximum number of comments to 5 for testing purposes. We can actually test the API endpoint with a HTTP GET request. Here's the command. Call your X and get, then paste the API endpoint here. Enter. Here's the comment in a JSON format. Let's find the comment. The comment should be under items key, snippet, top level, snippet, then text original. Alright, let's get back to our code. Let's extract the video ID from the YouTube link using the regular expression library. After extracting the video ID from the YouTube link, it will be saved in the extracted ID variable. This line of code will first search to see if any part of the provided link has youtube.com/watch?v or the shortened version of the YouTube link. If it does, we will extract everything after it and save it into the extracted ID variable. I'm going to add an if-else condition to check whether the user provided a valid YouTube link. Let me test to see whether it extracts the video ID correctly. You can see the video ID below. Let's try the shortened YouTube link. Perfect. Let's get rid of this. Remember how we used the terminal to get comments using the HTTP GET request? We have to do the same using the request library. So let's go ahead and import the library. Request.get helps us get the comments from the URL argument, which is the API endpoint in this case. We already have our extracted video ID. Now let's add our API key. We can hardcode the API key into our Python text file, but it is much safer to access it from a configuration file. Let's create one and add the YouTube data API key. We will also need to add the OpenAI API here later on. Configuration files have the ini extension. We need the config parser library to access our configuration file, so we need to import it. This is how you access the configuration file. In this case, config.ini. This line of code will go to the config file and look for the API key section. When it finds it, it will then look for the YouTube API key and return the value. The value then gets assigned to API_key variable. Now we need to extract the comments from the JSON response. If you remember, the comments are under the items key in the JSON response. When you go to the items key, search for snippet, then top level comment, then snippet. Then you'll find the comment inside text original keys value. I'm going to write a for loop to go through the entire JSON file and extract all the comments. Let's print out all the comments. The comments are separated by commas. If you go through this, you'll find all the 5 comments. I think that's enough for this video. In the next video, we are going to categorize the comments with the OpenAI's GPT 3.5 model. Let's import the library for the next video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.